that you have to fasten your seatbelts for New Year's, I think we're in store for more delays and more cancellations.
The trouble in the skies compounded by extreme weather out west. Heavy snow and ice causing spin-outs on the roads.
Yeah, it's been bad, but we're trying to make it.
For those who raced to get COVID tests before flying out for Christmas gatherings with family, now a new wrinkle, getting home.
These widespread delays come after airlines had requested that the CDC cut the number of quarantine days for those with breakthrough cases from 10 to a lower number, but the CDC has not commented on that. Meantime, for airlines, the short-term solution to this growing backlog is to ask employees to work overtime. Kristen?
Headaches and frustrations.
There's a good video about BreadTube. I think you should check it out later. It does criticize you near the end a bunch, so keep that in mind. Brother, I don't know what the fuck this is. It's a 1 hour and 40-minute video. Okay? The 1 hour and 40-minute video. The only part of this that I will look at is like most likely just the parts where it's like talking about me, because I do not give a fuck about the untold history of BreadTube. If you think I'm going to sit here and watch a 1 hour and 40-minute fucking... If you think I'm going to sit here and watch a 1 hour and 40-minute video on BreadTube, you are literally out of your fucking mind. I would watch a shitload more MasterChef episodes, because a 1 hour and 40-minute video of BreadTube is going to be a 7-hour broadcast special. Okay? It's going to be 7 hours. So just give me the fucking part where he just talks shit, and we'll watch that, and we'll address the criticisms.
1 year with my
and that's it.
Liberal.
Also, like, leftist criticism of the left is straight up the most annoying and the most inconsequential, insignificant bullshit out there. Don't bother. There's no point. He calls you a debate, bro. Wait, what? This dude thinks I'm a debate, bro? Very reactionary takes his comrade Corgo. Yeah, well, that's because I'm a fucking reactionary fascist, okay? That's why.
Let's go, Brandon.
If you call me a debate, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you are unaware of what I do then, because I am certainly not a debate, bro. Oh, and alleges you're a crypto white supremacist? Oh, yeah, no, that's true. Not crypto. I'm openly. Remember, of course I am. I'm protecting the white race. Twitch banned me for the word cracker, so I openly am a defender of the white race now.
Hi, Hasan.
That's unfortunate. It makes good vids, but I haven't watched this one because it's long as shit.
I finally found a GF, so I'm happy. Just wanted to share.
Basically about how white BreadTube is and how little recognition black creators get in leftist channels. That is 100% true. If that is his entire argument, then he's 1000% true. There is very little recognition of black content creators in most spaces, but especially even in the leftist YouTube space. Saying BreadTube is fucking cringe. You shouldn't even use that term. You shouldn't even fucking want to be a part of that group, regardless. And that's pretty much it, actually. It's like, I've seen a lot of his vids. You will likely agree with him. I do agree with him if that's his argument. If his argument is that, like, you know, the YouTube essayist space that is like openly leftist is very white, then he's completely fucking correct on that. It's straight up correct. He knows nothing about you. His takes that are all white leftists are not really left is so dumb. Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to find other white leftists that are as openly defensive as like of nationalist movements or like pan-African nationalist movements as myself. So I don't know. There's like 3 leftists out there that are white that are defensive of that sort of thing. And it's like me, Felix Biederman, and maybe like a couple other white leftists. So I don't know what he's talking about with respect to that. So. But it's fine. I mean, he's correct, though. He is correct. that unfortunately, you know, in this space, the space is very, very, very white.
Except instead of long form content that's mostly them ranting, they are still ranting, but usually in response to somebody else.
My ex called you a reactionary person. I didn't really understand, but I think your beliefs align with mine, which is why I watch you genuinely. I'll call stuff out when you say I don't like it. I've never seen you, but little knowledge I've seen thus far. The people who seemingly attack you tend to feel off drama instead of looking at it like ideas y'all share. Dude, anyone that calls me a fucking reactionary is literally delusional, okay? They're just like, unless they don't know what a fucking reactionary is and think that like that means reacting to YouTube content.
Else's content or on a particular topic. So no, I guess it's exactly the same in a lot of ways. The biggest difference is the usage of the live stream chat format, which allows them to have immediate feedback on what they're saying and immediate reinforcement that what they're doing is, if not right, then at least effective for their intended goal, which is to promote leftism.
I think like one of the biggest galvanizing or fracturing aspects is the debate bro stuff. The discourse has shifted from BreadTube is a thing, it's the video essayists, they're growing, to people, creators talking about BreadTube as, well, now the debate streamers, because they are leftists, are included in BreadTube. No, because they are prominent and have large audiences.
Holy shit, you look weirder when you're younger. That's not me, homie. This is not me. This is Noah. We watched a video of his last night. One of Noel's editors and also a YouTuber himself.
Not only aren't as salient or they don't go as well as
Nux Taco. Wow, I can't believe you started late today. Shaking my head. Yeah, I wonder why, dude. Wonder why I was late today, by the way. Yeah, point the finger at blame at you know, someone in the chat. Okay, it was my fault. I literally did fucking talk for pretty much 39 extra minutes with them off camera. We like recorded it and then we were shooting the shit.
There's quite a lot of conflict because they're already big. They kind of have this confidence aspect and this a little bit of demagoguery and a little bit of affirmation from streaming all day and talking about stuff. And it's not that they're not talking about issues, it's that there are blind spots.
This is way too close to my face. That's better. This formula for content is enjoyed by creators of various political ideologies in these stream spaces, mainly because it probably lends itself more to parasocial relationships than other forms of this type of media. But debate bros, as we call them, are unique in that they are A, left-leaning, at least ostensibly, and B...
Okay, I already like this guy. His Twitter is Black Uncle Iro. That's automatically, that's dope, okay? I don't know what the fuck he's about, but he named himself Black Uncle Iro. Respect.
Their name because they do debates on their platform. And I put debates in quotes here because these aren't actual debates. They don't usually have moderators. It's mostly them arguing against another person. It's a argument. They're argument bros.
Hold on. This is my favorite. Hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess.
These debates are often against people with significantly opposing viewpoints. And I'm just going to keep it real if you haven't already figured out.
As someone who's black and grew up in the Nation of Islam, Pan-African nationalist movements are not without their flaws. They're often not open to a lot of leftist thought and frankly should not be seen as entirely harmless. They are most certainly not as damaging as white nationalists. In fact, they're similar. The fact that they're similar is not a good thing. HasanAbi, first of all, when I say Pan-African nationalist movements, I'm not talking about fucking Nation of Islam, dude. What the fuck? And also, even then, like, you already admitted it. It's just like, no, that's not as a black man. That's a true take. That he's right. not all Pan-African nationalist movements are built the same. It's like fucking looking at, you know, it's like looking at fucking any matter that revolves itself around black liberation and comparing it is something that a white person would do. Okay?
Like your hair, you run fast.
Like, you're, you know, and every movement like that has flaws as well. Most movements do. You just have to recognize, recognize the, let me be clear on the record here. I'm going to be a fan of Debate Bros, but this sounds like some bullshit from Twitch, I'm told. Is habitually on some shit. I don't think Hasan would like being associated as a debate bro. He absolutely hates them and debates as a whole and hasn't done it seriously in almost 2 years. Plus, the reason he got banned was because probably another Debate Bros community boosted it. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like considered. Basically, he was saying that the YouTube algorithm pushes black viewers of leftist content into white bread tube or black Sigma tube grifters. What the fuck is Sigma tube? He's also sus of your community and other debate bros because you de-radicalize people who are on the alt-right pipeline. He sus of communities built of almost former Nazis. First of all, one, understandable take, obviously. Two, my community is not exclusively comprised of people who were like ex-white nationalists. There are certainly people who were, though, in this community. But there's a difference between people who are in this community who used to be like ex on fucking 4chan or ex alt-right or whatever the fuck and other communities. And that's because my main goal isn't to fucking thrive on being the big brained intellectual titan, the intellectual giant, because when you do that, that just means they are still responding simply to power. You're not actually creating or crafting an argument or showing people a different worldview and constantly explaining that that is like the proper and appropriate way to live. You're just simply, you know, you're just simply the big bad gladiator, the intellectual gladiator. And as long as you continue being that guy, they will fucking give you money and give you praise because they think you're the smartest guy in the room, because that's the only way that they can manage. That's the only way they can understand who is smart or not. He also talks about how when people read theory, they don't read from black authors, which is understandable. Yes, I mean, every matter of even liberal spaces, every matter of intellectual thought crafted within the Western liberal college campuses, absolutely are crafted in a very white ethnocentric perspective.
Weeb.
So that is true. I think you get pigeonholed as a debate bar because you give people succinct talking points to take elsewhere to debate others. I mean, sure.
Not a weeb copium.
I'm the definition of a hate watcher. You literally manipulate any instance into an example of your agenda being most of your money in your pocket as possible by catering to the most popular party. It's pathetic. That's awesome. I love that. You want to know why I love that? Well, one, thank you for your honesty. But two, I love that you said that leftism is popular. Like it's like an actual popular thing. That's great. Thank you. It's awesome that like socialism is the most popular concept. That's great. That's why I always say, I agree, but I also see the downside of never having your viewpoints challenged with opposing views. Yawn. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay? This notion that you are having your opinions challenged in the marketplace of ideas is a silly one. Okay? That would make Ben Shapiro the most intelligent person on the internet. This is why actual gladiator. Okay? Debates, and I haven't had this conversation in a long time. So it's actually, if Hasan did debates, no one would watch. First of all, that's not true. That's literally not true. Wait, what the fuck did I just click on? Oh, that my debates have been incredibly well watched. What the fuck are you talking about?
14 months. Boosted brain rot engaged. Hassle.
The reason why I don't do that is because the reason why I don't do that is not because like, and a lot of debate bros think like I'm running away from arguments, but The reason why I don't do that is not because I'm like afraid of arguments or the opposing side or anything like that. The reason why I don't do that is because I find it to be unproductive. I find the kind of audience that it starts fostering is incredibly toxic and not good for both growth as a stream, but certainly growth as an individual. Because it becomes an instance where people are exclusively looking for the next debate, looking for new targets to belittle, to berate. And because I don't personally believe that debates are anything but intellectual, pseudo-intellectual WWE, just mostly focused on the theatrics of it all, I don't think that that's a productive way of changing people's minds while also simultaneously growing your community. You're only looking for, most of the debates that you watch on the internet revolve around, one, perfectly crafting your talking points, knowing what your opposing side's talking points are, and perfectly crafting retorts to those talking points. And that can absolutely be relatively educational. You get a better understanding of what your talking points look like and how it matches up against other people's talking points, right? So that's a good thing. Makes you feel good, makes your side feel good. If you have like a powerful debate lord fighting on your behalf, totally get that, right? But ultimately, it's not like you're actually diving a little bit deeper into why you believe the things that you believe. You know what I mean? You're not doing that. You're not actually learning as to why you should feel a certain way about certain issues. You're simply just repeating talking points on your team's side, okay, and trying to rationalize the most illogical, logical fallacies you can as quickly as you possibly can. That's it. You are right, but I still think it has some value. Maybe it has more value outside of the streaming aspect and more value in a personal aspect, maybe. I am not of the mindset that debates are... This is weird. I am not of the mindset that debates are actually a successful way of matching up ideas. I've said this a million times over, but it bears repeating. I personally think that if that was the case, then Ben Shapiro would never be able to own, for example, a scientist on the issue of climate change. But because debates value rhetoric over actual substance, Ben Shapiro could absolutely, quote unquote, destroy a nerdy scientist who is well versed in the subject matter that he's discussing and make it seem as though he actually destroyed a fucking real, credible individual that knows a lot more. It's not about who's right. It's about who appears to be more powerful. That's why a lot of debate lords who do not have any emotional investment, okay? That's why many debate lords who do not have a single ounce of emotional investment in the arguments that he's talking about, okay, will appear to win. That's why a lot of debate lords do not really care about the substance or care about the things that they're talking about and will say ridiculous shit in an effort to, try to reach out to the different recipes, the boundaries of your moral system that you've crafted. And it's not something that you would normally do. On top of that, debates don't actually change people's minds. They have a capacity to be able to change people's minds, certainly. There is the classic 40-40-20 principle. 40% of the watchers are going to stay on one side, their own side. They're already well versed.
Got COVID myself.
And they're watching to learn the talking points. The other 40%, same thing. And then there is the 20% in the middle that are in the margins that could go either way, that could actually have their minds changed. But it's still not good enough. If you don't steer those people towards a direction and you simply steer them towards the direction of being a fan of yours and advocating for whatever the fuck kind of seasoning you have decided to put on top of your neoliberalist values, your neoliberal values, then they've just become the exact same person that they used to be. But instead of doing it for Nazi shit, they're doing it for you and whoever the fuck you have decided is your enemy, or whatever ideology you have decided to, value for the sake of the argument. Okay? Debates have definitely de-radicalized a lot of STEM lord types, just like shows like yours and Chapo that reject civility, politics, and political correctness pull a lot of edgelords over. I mean, sure.
Stranded forever, Sag.
Oh, dude, look. He's right. Last night he tried debating that he wasn't a weeb and nobody changed their mind. Okay, dude. Why you gotta do this to me right now?
My grandfather dies Friday from COVID pneumonia. Happy New Year.
So
18 months is pretty pog.
ultimately, as I was stating, if you enjoy debates, that's fine. I watch debates from time to time as well. But if you think that like that is the end all be all of like stimulating intellectual conversation, you're wrong. If anything, the research proportion of finding the appropriate talking points to counter people's arguments with is probably the more productive side of the debate if you are, actually streaming that part. You know what I mean? This was Parker from the video that we watched yesterday.